You ever hear a noise in your car every time you hit a bump and it drives you crazy? And it ends up being your license plate and you can't fix it no matter how tight you screw it down? Or do you often think that license plates make the car look kind of bad because it just doesn't integrate with the rest of the car and most of the products out there just makes it look worse? Or if you're cursed like me, you deal with both issues? Well, once again, I found a solution to these common problems. Let's have a look. This episode of Jason's Garage is brought to you by my Amazon influencer page. Everything that I review in my videos that I get from Amazon can be found here, plus anything else that I highly recommend and use personally. Check out my hand-picked selection. Alright everybody, welcome back to my garage. I've talked in my previous videos about Jason's Law of car appearance, and that at its basis, a car's overall appearance and visual appreciation can be reduced by one or more small things that just don't fit. The license plate is one of those things that often just doesn't fit. I mean, you got this meticulously designed vehicle with lots of compound angles and swooping designs, and then you have this flat rectangle with a rough edge just breaking up the visual flow. And oftentimes it makes a noise when you hit a bump. And so you've got something that's ugly and noisy on a car, and that is not cool. Now there's tons of license plate frame options out there, but they just seem to make the plate look worse. Like this one. Or this one, or this one, or God help us all, this one. Good grief, somebody please make it stop. Ah! Okay, sorry. Anyway, I found a much better solution. Rightcar Solutions is a company that makes these silicone license plate frames, and they're pretty affordable. And it's just 100% silicone, and it slips right in your, you slip your license plate right into it, and it's compatible with any style of license plate because it just has just a frame around it. So as it says, durable silicone body, flexible design, patented design, doesn't rattle, rust proof, got different colors. These are some that I picked up just so you can see what they have to offer. Pretty easy to install, legal in all states, and fits a standard license plate. So let's take a look at one. So yeah, it's really flexible. I mean, there's no question about that. So it's got a little bit of a thickness to it, so it protects the paint behind it. It's not thin, it's not flimsy, and it's got this channel that you fit the license plate frame into all the way around. And as you noticed, there are drainage holes on the bottom of it. So there's a right side and a wrong side. Let's do it that way. There we go. So here's the top, and there's the bottom. It's pretty simple. I'm really surprised that nobody came up with this before. And it looks good. It doesn't look gaudy. It doesn't look ugly. It doesn't look tacky. Let's go put one on my Jeep. Maybe put one on my Corvette too. I think I'll go with this for the Jeep and this for the Corvette. Let's do it. Now here's a problem it's going to solve. These screws are tight, but every time I go over a bump or I open and close the hatch, I hear it. This is going to fix that. It's not quite as bad for the Corvette, but it's still there. It's really obvious on my wife's car. You barely have to move it to make it clang against the car. Let's install on this plate. And make sure that the drain holes are on the bottom. Just that easy. You can already tell the sound deadening that it has. Throw it back on the vehicle and see how it did. That was pretty easy, and it looks good. It actually kind of matches the gray of my trim here, which is coincidental but very cool. It's a bonus, and definitely deadens the sound of it. Not to mention, it just looks good. Here's the wife's car. I think it actually did better on her car than it did for mine for sound deadening, and it looks good. And here's the Corvette. Also looks great. The one thing that's a bonus about this one is that it allows for my rear view camera to be in place. Just about any other license plate frame that I looked at wouldn't give it enough room, but this one did. Nice. I've been driving around with these plate frames on for a few months, since last December actually, and they're doing just as good as advertised. They look good, but they're not gaudy, they don't trap water, and they seem pretty tough. And, of course, they adhere to Jason's law of car appearance. And if you agree that license plates need a little visual touch and or your plate rattles and want to do something about it, these are a pretty good solution. For 15 bucks, you really can't go wrong. Grab them on Amazon, link is in the description. Be warned, it looks like there's a lot of clones out there. Per my research, this one is the original patented item with a guarantee. Feedback and suggestions are always welcome, so throw them at me. As always, thanks for hanging out in my garage with me. See you in my next video.